Live.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to a new episode of Group Thread. My name is Gia Peppers, and I'm super excited as Amazon family to be coming on this great platform to have an incredible conversation as we continue our Credit the Culture series. And these two women that we are about to get into conversation with today, bosses, just millennial icons, and two women that have been in this industry for a long time who are able to really give us some game on how we can continue to credit the culture, continue to celebrate Black Music Month, but also we got to talk about what it's like to be a woman in music as well. And so I'm so happy to be able to sit with two of my girls, Miss Diddy and Miss Baroline Diaz, for today's chat. Now, before I ask them to come, and talk a little bit about if you don't know them, you've been living under a rock, but why you should know them, want to make sure that we said, that this is really one of our last moments of our Black Music Month campaign. Has been so great on Amazon Music to really celebrate our music. But, we celebrate all year long, especially these three. So we're super excited that we get to kind of wrap up this moment to really talk about the 2022 Black Music theme that is about content, conversation, and experiences that track back to the cultural origins of the culture that we love now. So let's get into the conversation by starting with, hello, ladies. How are y'all doing? Because all of us, nobody has voices because we're coming off of BET weekend. Miss Diddy, you threw an incredible event. How was your event and your weekend?
Man, it was amazing. I'm super tired, as we all have the same sentiment. But I think it's still important to say that we're tired and not be afraid to say that as women, because sometimes we are. But I had an incredible event, Toast to Black Hollywood. Myself and my team at my company, The Brand Group, my business partner, Braden Williams, we worked extremely hard on pulling all the pieces together to make it extremely impactful, dynamic, memorable, and really cultural based. So it was just incredible. We had it at the London Hotel, actually in Beverly Hills, and it was beautiful. Everyone came out. They looked amazing. They were celebrating. Even the guys were having good times. We had Douce cigars on the rooftop, and, even like the rapper, like Benny the Butcher was there, and he like literally stayed the whole time. He was like, Diddy, that was like one of the funnest times I had. So It was really great to kind of hear the feedback, and everybody really had a great time.
I love that. I'm going to look for my invite next year.
You are invited wherever I am, honey. Every single piece, you are invited.
Look, I'll make sure I text you before, like, sis, don't forget, because I need to be able to give looks like the rest of the girls gave. I need preparation.
It's given triple confirmed.
Okay. Baroline, first of all, I love this hair. You're giving all I need. But how was your weekend? Are you recovered? You just told me, first of all, the sweatshirts that they're wearing is Baroline's collaboration with Good American, which if you are a female boss, a woman boss, a boss that identifies as female, you need this line. Now mine is in the cleaners because I've been wearing it so much. So that's the only reason why I don't have it. But how have you been, boo?
I've been good. Like BET weekend was cool, but I just had like a big weekend earlier during the week. My artist that I manage, Babyface Ray, we just got off tour. We sold out 22 cities and we sold out 2 nights at the Roxy. And he just received XXL freshman cover. So I did a private dinner at Tao, hosted by Red Bull and Grey Goose, and it was like really nice. I feel like sometimes us as executives and even artists, we're like on this race and pace of beating what's next, and we never celebrate. And he's like, he never likes to celebrate, but I was like, let me do something for you. Like, you just sold out 2 nights at the Roxy. You have one more day of the show. Let me do something nice. So we had like a really nice celebration. Big Sean came out. Big Sean is also from Detroit, and just like gave Ray his flowers and spoke about how proud he is, and just seeing Ray coming up is a lot for him, and he appreciates him, and it's like it's his time. So it was really nice. He's my first artist as a manager, and like just to be on like the XXL cover and sold out tour and all of that, it's just like, it's a big moment for me because I feel like I stepped out of my comfort zone, out of something that I never thought I was gonna do. And I finally have an artist that believes in my vision, and we both believe in each other's vision. so we execute perfectly. And I think like it's just the start of the beginning. We'll be going to Wireless next week. So we have 2 shows at Wireless, London and Birmingham and Portugal. So it's his first time out the country overseas.
Wow.
So it's just like, you know, I believe in manifestation and just building artists and taking them to the next level. I think the only way we're going to win is if we help each other. And I feel like women as managers are very powerful. I think that I was telling my boss today, Nicole Scarco at Interscope, I said, nobody works harder than women.
Yeah,
we take it to the next level. Like even my artist, this weekend at BT, I manage an artist named Rob 49. I also work with him at the Geffen side. Like I worked the radio room with him. I was exhausted. I'm at the radio room at 11 a.m. The night before, we just got home 4 a.m. We was at Tao at the all white party with Travis. Travis playing his record all night. So it's like, there's no excuses. Like we got to get to work and we have to build these artists and we have to make them a priority, because if we don't prioritize them, nobody will. So, you know, it's all about just taking this to the next level. My goals is for next year to have an artist performing at the BET Awards or getting an award. That's the next time I'll
and both of them gonna happen.
Exactly. So I think it's just about putting in the work and just celebrating ourselves as women. And I really appreciate the event Miss Diddy did. It's like, I thought she recognized a couple people that probably worked their ass off, and it's like, damn, I'm never on those lists. I feel like we hold so much high value and like we put like stuff like Billboard lists and these lists and these accolades that are given to us at like the Grammys, for example, how hip hop artists hold the Grammys up to here, but the BET Awards is down here. So it's like when you give those accolades to people that maybe you never know, people could be depressed off work, and then you call them and you're like, hey, I want to honor you. That means a lot to me. So I really appreciate just seeing some of the people that you honor, like Ebony, who's a female manager. She has Gunner and she has Future, and she's dealing with, we don't know what she's dealing with on the Gunner side. So, and she has Flo Milli too, just to see somebody honoring her, like that's dope, because you don't know what she's going through. And it's hard for women. Sometimes we work hard, but people don't want to see us win. There's always men that are trying to count us out. So seeing you honor somebody like her was really nice, because I'm like, I know at the time right now, she needs that and the support. Yeah. And coming from another woman makes it even special.
That's really
and
good.
There was really, I want to touch on that really quickly, especially about Ebony and also like a Baroline. I say a Baroline because there's only a couple of you guys, Baroline, but there is a good amount of women that are really, really doing impactful work. And you and Ebony are far but high on that list, you know, and that's something that I did think about when I thought about honoring her. Like for me, I really care about people that care about people. And that's like an outward expression to me that she has, that she showcases as a woman. And it's something I respect, because I mean, I've been in this business over 15 years, and there's things that I've done for artists and for people and for moments in people's career that I'll never, ever, ever see any form of recognition for. And it's fine. God'll always have me, and I'll continue to flourish. But that's important to me, that if I can tell another woman like, yo, you killing it, I love this, and create a room and a safe space that people can have those conversations with each other and continue to know about the work. That's what's important to me. Like she has a petition that needs to be signed that's going to help her artists, that's going to help with future success of our rap music and our Black art, you know, and I wanted to make sure I did my best to give a space that that's safe and talked about it. She's a super class act. She sent me flowers. Actually, I looked right before we got on, and I was like, she's a freaking class act. And it's the same way I look at Baroline too. So I'm just so happy for them, for real.
Yeah. Touch back on that. Sorry to cut you off, G, about like just like flowers and stuff. I feel like I also was talking to somebody about like how sometimes we try to help everybody, but our mental health is not at the right space. So I want us like, there needs to be a space haven for executives too, because sometimes they're like on a race to help these artists, which is amazing. That's the business that we're in, but we're not able to help an artist become a superstar if we are not 100%.
Absolutely.
If we are burnt out, because sometimes you get burnt out and the artist may not see all the work that you have to do, the 8 a.m. calls, the fighting with people, with executives or people that don't want to do their job. They don't see none of that. Sometimes we need to have a place where we're able to have a team or a group of people we could talk to when you are free. Like, there's nothing wrong with getting a therapist or with speaking to somebody or with after 8 p.m. turning off your phone because
DND.
You got to just turn off your phone, or I'm going to start my day at 9. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to get my hair done, or I'm going to do this, because sometimes we're just trying to help everybody, but we need to help ourselves. And I think that's what I've came to a realization is like the only way that I'm going to help other people become superstars or get to their best possible place is if I'm 100%. And I feel like that should be for everybody, for in Gia's world, in Miss Diddy's world, in any world you are that helps other people. You within yourself, you need to have a balance between work and a healthy lifestyle.
You ain't never lied, because it just comes out in ways that you will never be able to plan. Like, it'll come, if you're not taking care of yourself, it'll come out. And the next thing you know, you'll be like, wait a minute, I thought it was okay. Right. So I think that's such an important part of the conversation, is that self-care for Black women in music, especially Black women in entertainment, especially, we have to take care of ourselves. And Diddy, I know you got something I want you to add, but I do want, people are in the comments saying hello to us. So I do want to shout out. I'm Quave said, Miss Diddy is so inspirational. Amen. We noticed. And then L Boogie Baby said, I'm loving their sweatshirts. Shout out to you, Baroline. Yes, the sweatshirts are available. Are they still available? They sold out.
Yeah, they're available on goodamerican.com.
Goodamerican.com. Get those right now. And guys, please keep dropping your questions for these ladies in the chat, because we want to talk to you guys. You know, we love you here. And so Diddy, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off.
No, listen, I could talk about that for a lifetime, especially when it comes to, to mental health. It's something that I know very personally in my family. And, it's no joke, and PTSD is real across the board, and especially if you're young, Black, brown person, Spanish, all and come from certain type of communities, like our trauma, our PTSD, our mental health is not really respected or supported, and even more so as a woman. So it's like what Baroline is saying is spot on, and you have to not feel guilty to take care of yourself. And that's something that it took me a very long time to learn, is to not feel guilty and having those moments with myself. Like, I would be like, nah, I'm good. I got to do this for somebody else. I'll figure it out. I got to do this for somebody else. Yeah. But all in all, I was dying inside and like depleted and not, and not being poured into, because I'm so sacrificial minded and so sacrificial based. So I just in the last coming years have I learned to do that and to be a lot more intentional and to not feel nothing about that. So Baroline is super right. Like, sometimes my phone will be on the whole other side of the room, and it just has to stay there until I'm ready to go back and pick it up, because it's good that whatever is on there is going to be there regardless. Like, but when you're building, like, especially for me, like, I've always cared about building legacy, empire, like really big things. So when you're building, just like Baroline is saying, and you're running, it's the idea of not wanting to miss opportunities or not wanting to miss this moment or whatever the case may be. So you're really burning yourself out instead of, taking the time to kind of sit back and say, all right, let me be clear-minded when I'm making decisions versus just making decisions off of the emotion of not wanting to miss something or miss out on an opportunity, So I'm all the way with her on that.
Yes. Yeah. Shout out to everybody who's taking care of their mental health, whatever that looks like, whether that looks like a hike, therapy, all the above, prayer, all the above, because I think it's important that we do that. But I love this conversation because I'm talking to two women who have, again, been in this industry and been actually making moves and strides in this industry to make it better for a long time. And so for those of you guys who don't know, these are two incredible women who work on varying projects within the music industry, film, television, entertainment, whatever you need, they probably worked on it. And so Miss Diddy, can you give a rundown of the folks of like just who you are and what you're passionate about at this point in your life? And then Baroline, I'll ask you the same thing.
Yeah. My name's Miss Diddy, born and raised in LA. Very proud to be from the city that everyone kind of comes to make it. And so I've done a lot of, work in my city. I mean, this is the city I was born in, bred in, and became successful in. And so I own a marketing agency called the Brand Group. And I mean, really kind of all facets of everything from top to bottom. And just like you said, film, television, music, entertainment, philanthropy, religion, whatever, across the board. And it's just the understanding the power of your mind and the power of your creativity, and that you really can become whoever you want to be business-wise as long as you're staying creative. So that was always my business model in building my business. I started as a promoter, and that turned into, really doing more event-based things. I was the only woman promoter in Hollywood for a lot of years. It's tough business, no nonsense type of business. And, I definitely had that reputation of being that type of person, and still a lot more gentle now because I'm older. But, I used to be a hothead for real. But, built up from there and just continued to make really good business decisions, and took meetings and built with people and understood that relationships was currency and was key. And that's really how I built my business all the way up from there.
I love that. I love that. All right, Baroline, tell us a little bit about who you are, coming from the other coast, the coast I'm very familiar with, who you are. And I know you're passionate about building artists right now, but, as a woman, what are you passionate about right now in your career?
My name is Baroline. What's this, Caroline, but Baroline? I'm from
he gave her the name?
Uptown. He did. I'm from Uptown Dykeman. I rep my hood like a maniac. I am the senior vice president of A&R at Interscope Records. I also have a management company called Be Heard and a clothing line called The Be Project. So I just launched my clothing line like a couple months ago with Good American, something that was based off a relationship that I had with the owner of Good American, that I met her when I moved to LA, and I posted my clothing line. I did like a photo dump, and I was like, it was just like one of the things. And she DM'd me, she was like, let me sell these. And I was like, huh? And I was like, hell yeah. And she took me to the office the next week, and we came up with this capsule that just like trademarks who women are when they walk in the room. There's the one that says self-made woman, there's female CEO, and I think, there's self-made woman, female CEO. There's another one. Powerful fucking woman. So I kind of was like, when I walk in the room, I want people to see who I am. And it just came up, and all the fly girls have my stuff. Like every day somebody new wears my stuff. I manage Babyface Ray, who's this upcoming rapper, superstar from Detroit. I manage another artist called Rob 49 from New Orleans. And I just signed the artist named Libra Jolie from Houston, Texas. She is a freaking superstar. I think she's gonna kill it. We're doing the work right now. And then, I just been hustling. I believe in getting to it, making no excuses, and going. A lot of people try to shut doors in your face, tell you can't do something, think they taking stuff away from you. But I always come back. I always revamp because I have so much faith in God. I have faith within myself, which is the most important. Outside of God is having faith in yourself. And I'm just in a place in my life right now that I don't want to do anything if it doesn't make me happy. It doesn't matter if it's money involved. It doesn't matter if it's the hottest thing that everybody's doing. If I personally am not connected to the artist and don't feel like they're generally a good person, I don't want to do it. Mm-hmm. If I think you're going to give me a headache, I don't want to do it. Yep. I'm just getting older, and peaceful mind is the biggest thing to me right now. I think when I first came into the industry, I was blessed. My first artist was like, I signed Polo G. I had the baby. I had like artists that like became superstars in front of my eyes. So I know what it takes. So I'm willing to just work with artists that want to do the work. I think we live in a society now where artists are every day. Every day there's something new. Every day is something new. But it's like, who's the ones that's willing to put in the work to stay in this business? Who are the artists that are willing to take sacrifices, and who are the artists that are going to have longevity careers? Yeah. So it's just like, I just want to be passionate in anything that I do. This clothing line was just an idea. I don't know what's next. Maybe I'm in a movie next. I'm just living my life with happiness and just going with the flow. I think as women, as executives, they try to box us in and say we're only supposed to do something. I was just talking to Felicia, Gia.
Yeah.
And I was like, people be hating on me at work when I post this. And she was like, girl, I feel the same way too. And it's like, it's crazy hearing somebody like Felicia say that she thinks that people are judging her in her workplace. And that's how I feel. And then I was like, girl, why we give a fuck? Like, we popping. Like, we just gotta, people are always gonna talk. And talk is always a good thing, because if they're not talking to you, you ain't doing something right. So it's just, being true to yourself and staying happy, because people are always going to have to say something. We're in the social media era. Like, I ain't going to post when I'm sad or depressed. I'm going to post when I'm flying, I'm out. So that's what you're going to get. And if you don't like that element, then that's not for you.
Right.
But I think that for us women, like, we just got to live our lives, go shopping, go get our hair done, take vacations, buy the Chanel bag, buy the Cartier bracelet, buy the Van Cleef, do what you want, because it's like life is short. Like, you see, unfortunate, I just seen the thing with Shaka. Like, that's so sad. Like, that's something you wouldn't even think, the little TJ, like, every day something is happening and we don't know what's next. And it's so unfortunate with life right now. It's like, why not live your life with happiness? And just, you never know what can happen. And I'm sending prayers to both Shaka's family and his family. Like, absolutely, life is just a spinning circle. So why not make sure that you do what you love? You spend the money you want to spend. You go out to eat and do the nice things. Because if we don't do it for ourselves, nobody's going to do it.
Nobody's going to do it. Like, it's one of those real things that I think also as women of color are learning to do, because I think we're also one of the first generations to put ourselves in the forefront.
Absolutely.
Like,
absolutely.
I look at my mom's generation, I look like at her mom's generation, and they were just so used to like holding down everything and everybody. Like, we're the first generation to be like, ooh, I don't need that. I'm gonna go take care of myself. I don't like that. And we're not workhorses. We're people, right? And I think that's one of my favorite parts about watching the women in this industry move is like the early parts of this industry, everything looked like it was run by men, but we know behind every great male executive, there was probably a woman doing the work. And as women got to be in those spaces and as in the front offices, as SVPs, as people who own their own businesses that are taking over coast to coast, we also have a lot of women who didn't get the credit. So when you think of like some of your favorite executives or stories or women that you feel like should be highlighted that rarely get highlighted, maybe from like the 90s or the earlier days of the music industry, do you guys have any people that you really, really look to for inspiration, or maybe mentors that you were like, oh, dang, people don't know that you did this in the culture. Like, you're responsible for this. Is there anybody that comes to mind, or just people that you like to give credit to that don't get enough credit in the culture as women in music?
I want to say this really quick with that. Like, I think that women, every single woman plays a role.
Yep.
Even, I think, I'm a super A-type personality woman. I'm technically a single person, a single woman, and all these things. And I take care of myself and all these things. However, I believe that even women that are with a man, they play a role some kind of way, whether it's inspiring them, whether it's putting them up on game or something, like whatever the case may be. So I think all women deserve some sort of praise in all kind of ways. You know what I mean? If we look at like Diana Ross, she's known as a songstress, but excuse me, who knows what she really put in the game over there, And so, excuse me, my allergies. I think all women deserve that, but I'm sure Baroline has some women to speak about too.
For me, like, in the music industry, like Shari Bryan is like
Shari.
And Shari started as an intern at Rockefeller to now being the co-president of Rock Nation. So it's like, you think about it, like, while you're doing the work and as ages go by, like, did you think that one day she woke up and she was like, I'm gonna be the president? No, she did the work. She didn't complain. She stayed focused on her vision and stayed true to what she is. So people see that. People see you being loyal, honorable, and people pay attention to that. I think another executive is Nicole Wiscarco, who's at Interscope. Like, I don't think she gets enough credit or accolades. Like, she works her ass off in that building, and she's one of the nicest people. And she actually hired me to come to Interscope. So I think she's amazing.
So nice.
Lisa Brunson, who's at she was at Def Jam and now she's at 300. Like Lisa taught me everything that I known about A&R as I was coming up. She's somebody else. Like there's so many women, Natina, Thea, Mitchell, like there's a lot of amazing women that are like helping other women. I think that sometimes we find ourselves like, it's so funny that Gia's on here because I don't know if you remember, Gia. When I auditioned to get into Ween with Alicia, I called you. They gave me your phone number. This probably was like eight. This probably was like 7 or 8. This probably was like 7 or 8 years ago. And I called in. I was like, "Can you give me some advice for my audition?"
And I was like, "Girl, good luck." God.
And then I ended up getting it, but the reason why I got it was because Bevy Smith, I don't know if y'all know Bevy Smith,
of course. She
championed me and was like, yo, I see myself in this young girl from Uptown. Like, if she doesn't get it, I don't want to be connected to y'all. Like, like she stood for me. She was like, this is my girl. So it's like, that's just somebody that didn't know me and believed in me. So I think us as women, we need to help the next generation of executives and the next generation of leaders because you always need somebody to give you the upper hand. It's never done by yourself. It's always a mentor or somebody that you looked up to that helped you. Like I have a bunch of people like Tubby, Sean Holiday. He was the person that got me my job at Columbia, which was my first job. As an A&R. Nobody, I was the girl at the desk at Def Jam, and he took a risk and he hired me. So it's all about helping the next generation of leaders to become executives. So Heather Lowry, she has a program, Family Forward. Mm-hmm. So I have 2 mentees that was on the program, and they help with the whole Good American collection. Like
that's so dope.
From finding the models, the executives, gifting, designs, going in the Good American meetings with me, Emma, being at the shoot. Like I was helping them put in position. Now Crystal that works with Family Forward, now she's helping me with my artist Libra Jolie. So it's like, just help people, and you never know who could be the next executive. Because one thing about this industry, though, I never forget who shitted on me. I ain't gonna shit on them back, but we're gonna have to see each other again, and I'm gonna remember. So it's good to make sure you treat people good because sometimes you could be at this high horse of success, but the high horse sometimes gets low, or you gotta get off the horse. So you gotta treat people good because this industry is evolving, though you're always gonna need somebody again.
Absolutely.
But I want to touch on, I'm sorry, Gia, I want to touch on something that you said.
Hey, can I just say something because I want to make sure that I get one, the Ween thing was so funny because I hate when people give my number out without me asking. And I was like,
it's my pet peeve.
Who is this? But I'm so happy that Bevy stood in the gap for you because we all learned what they were looking for in that moment. And Bevy said, no, we need a girl that actually looks like what we are in New York. Like she can't just be a girl that has this, like she has to be everything.
I didn't know shit when I went over there.
Exactly. So it's fine, but I'm just proud that you like when I met you, I was like, oh, she gonna make it whether Ween says yes or not.
That's what I said in my audition.
You have fire.
Jojo Brim was there. Shantae was there. And I did an audition and they were like, so what you going to do if you don't get picked? I said, I'll see y'all soon. I'm going to be good. And that's what they were like. This girl is crazy.
And you did it. So congratulations, boo. All right. Sorry. I just had to say that.
No, because I wanted to talk about that. What a lot of people don't discuss. First of all, shout out to Bevy Smith, to that incredible queen. That's someone that deserves so many flowers and those type of moments because we talk about sometimes helping people, but we don't talk about defending people. And we don't talk about having someone's back. And we don't talk about when we get to a place where we are powerful enough, that's what we're supposed to do. You know what I mean? Like I remember I used to work for Hennessy, and it's a lady over there that was just terrorizing me. She was hating on me. Crazy. She was just terrible. She was my boss. And ultimately, it's so crazy. I was doing such numbers at the company and really like redefining how programming looks on premise, which would be like nightlife and like what it looked like in our culture, right? Bridging the gap of like super corporate. People don't understand how corporate Hennessy is. It's LVMH, Louis Vuitton, or Hennessy. It's the biggest conglomerate. It's not what we think it is. And it's a it's a real thing. It's French, it's France, it's Frenchman, it's Maisons, like it's a thing. And so I was bridging such a crazy gap and them really understanding our culture and the programs of nightlife and cocktails. That's what people don't understand. It's not that I just have like cocktails and all that. I love the art of it. I love the teaching of it. I loved all of it. And it was she was technically my boss. She wasn't the boss who hired me in for the role, but she was technically my boss. And she was just terrorizing me because she didn't know how to manage such a big person. Because I don't really need a manager. I already have a company. I don't need a manager. I just know what to do at what you guys need. And, she was terrible. And I say that to say because I bowed out really, really gracefully. And this was still a time where when in my 20s, I was super, super high at it. Like I was not, I'm with every piece of whatever, whoever, and
all the smoke.
Every single piece of it. And it was a corporate company, so there's ways in which you have to handle things, which is another thing when I talk about is at that point to which you excel in your career to a level where you can't handle things the way you would normally handle things. That's no one teaches that part. That was a part I had to learn on my own. Like, I can no longer do that because actually that's counterproductive for where I am now. Yep. And it's Bevy, that moment that she stood in the gap for Baroline. That's a very, very important moment. And we don't discuss that because that can be the difference whether, first of all, her saying that word is everything to everyone at Wing now. Bevy's like, nah, I'm not playing. This is what we're doing, or I'm not associated with you. That's what we're supposed to do when we have seats of power. That's what we're supposed to do. And that's the idea of champion for that next generation that Baroline is saying, but also defending. Because I remember when I was dealing with all of that boss lady's name is Clarabelle. And a lot of people know it, but I don't care. She knows. I got time anytime I see it. But I'm just saying to say, no one, like that moment was it was a tough moment for me. It was a learning moment. I remember being like, you know what? I will never let someone play with somebody, especially a young girl doing her thing. Cause I know what that did to me inside, And so shout out to Bevy on a whole nother level because we don't talk about the moments that someone stood in the gap for that person and that next generation. So Baroline, always shout out to you for being authentic.
Well, since we're having a real conversation.
Yes.
What happens when you try to help somebody, but they feel like they're trying to overstep you and take your job?
Wait a minute.
That's another thing.
Another thing. Wait a minute. Okay. All right. Well, Diddy, I think you
Where
can.
Much is given, much is required. So that is going to always happen. And I learned that around on my first lawsuit. Like, okay, so actually, you don't mean, okay, so this is how it's gonna go. And and those people, what I learned, Baroline and Tia, I learned to be even more shrewd in this way. I learned to cut my liability, or if I perceive it as a liability, early on. I could, and in the best way, in the most respectful way, because I can't afford it, literally. Right. I literally can't afford it. So as soon as I see it, because it's a fine line, when you're from the hood and all of that, you want to help everybody. You just do, because you understand. And you also are battling survivor's remorse. You know what I mean? So it's like, you want to bring everybody on. You want to help, you got that in you. You got that. You potentially have that card that you can pull in you. I got to cut it off.
Yeah.
And I mean that because I can't afford it.
I just had a conversation with Steve Berman, who's the head of Interscope. And I was telling him, I was like, I'm going to need you to stop bringing these white, rich kids, neighbors, favor interns. Like, I need to see Baroline from Compton, since we in LA, and Interscope, or the girl from Watts, and we need to teach them how to work in the office and how to be an executive, because what happens is that we got these kids that come into these buildings, these corporate buildings, and they're like, they already come from opportunity, their parents are rich, or they go to these universities. Like when I got into Ween, I was a girl from the hood still that had a little college. I was a community college, but I ain't know shit. Because the thing about it, the music industry, the business that we're in, this is a self-taught business. There's no books, there's no school. So it's like, why not go grab the kids that are in these communities, in these projects, or these young girls that don't got nothing going on for themselves and bring them into these jobs and give them opportunities and put some money in the pocket, or grab them from New York and pay for their housing to come to LA and work. Because you know, somebody has to be an advocate for that, because I don't want the rich kid that they mama is already a president
and they don't got nothing to lose.
Here. And then I don't know about y'all though, but I used to be a slave intern. I was picking up coffee. I was picking up people's kids.
Girl.
I was picking up clothes.
Generation.
Interns be like, it's 6 o'clock, I gotta go home. I was not going home till the last person was in the building. So we also in a generation where nobody wants to do the work. They just want the credit, because what they see is like, they see Baroline on social media with her Chanel bag, but they know Baroline when she didn't have no Chanel bag and she was crying because she didn't have no money and she was trying to figure it out. So this is the thing with social media, is like, you see the plaques, you see the stuff, but you don't see the hard work. The nights where I'm crying because a man is trying to say that I can't do this because he could do it and I can't. So there's a lot to it. And I just wish that these kids and these people that are trying to get into the music industry knows that there's a lot of hard work. It's not just glitz and glamour. And you have to do the work. Everybody wants to be there when the shit is hot, but nobody wants to do the work. So I'm all for people that are actually doing work. Like, I don't need to be mean at work sometimes, but sometimes I have to check people. Like, bro, you don't need to show up to this event today, because guess what? You wasn't answering my email, or you wasn't doing this. So I'm all for people that if you want to be an executive, or you want to be the next Gia, or you want to be the next Miss Diddy, or you want to be the next Baroline, you can have all of our jobs, but do the work, do the pieces. You know, people have to be advocate of hard work and success and baby steps and taking time. And I'm 27. My first job in the music industry was when I was 19. I went to Revolt Music Conference on Spirit Airline with no money.
Absolutely.
A lady named Marilyn, who worked for Puff, who made me her assistant and didn't give me $1, and I couldn't eat without her feeding me. And I did every single job. I went on the whole Bad Boy tour. I worked for Kim. I've done everything. Didn't get no money. I think I got my first check like 2 years ago. I'm 27. Like 25 was my first real check when they moved me to LA to work at Interscope. But it's like, these kids don't want to do no work too. So it's like, if you do get the position to work for Miss Diddy or to work behind Gia or behind me, you need to do the work.
Okay, you know,
preaching.
But you know what? We have to start defining what work is too, Baroline. Because while social media is a great tool, okay, I'm so excited about the evolution of the internet and social media and what it has done for so many people, even like us. So I'm fine with that. Let me get that out the way. But people think that the work is putting it on social media. So we have to define what the work is. Even like say my events, right? It's in my business conduct paperwork. You don't take your phone out. What are you taking a picture for? You're at work. Like you don't, and it's just like what Baroline's saying, like, oh, you're not answering my emails, but you think you could go to this event? No, I still will take the trash out. I still swept the floor at the end of my event that I paid for because it needed to be done, not because of anything else. Like I told even young girls that work for me, all that, if I ever see you sitting down, go home. Because at the point to which you're tired,
there's always something to be done.
There's always something to be done. And I'm in 6-inch heels. So if the point that you're tired, I need you to go home because I don't need people that get tired. Because if we want to talk about tired, you can't trump how tired I am. Wow. And I'm still showing up and I'm still going. So we got to define the word work, and we got to start showing, like really telling them what work is, because they be like, I'm working. It's on Instagram. No, put your phone away, actually, because you're not here for that. Because when I was in school, you couldn't have your phone out. And when I was at work in retail and everything, you couldn't have your phone out. So I'm not sure why you think you should have it out today.
Period.
You're here to work. You need to pay attention, see what's going on, keep your head on the swivel. There's always something that could be done, like Baroline said. There's always someone to be in my event world, greeted, taken care of, keep my stuff clean, keep my hospitality situated, make sure that the flow of things are, you know what I mean? So we got to define work, because these kids really be thinking they working.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a different time. And I remember like the same story, same grind, like trying to figure out how to get to the next level.
Absolutely.
But it was so much about just being like, I don't know what's going to happen. Yep. I just know that I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna show up and I'm gonna over deliver. Like if I have to sweep the floors, if I have to figure out somebody's coffee order and get it right every day, like my first internship was waking up at 4 a.m. to be there for Donnie Simpson in the morning, cleaning the studios,
Absolutely.
going to get his breakfast, going to make sure he had all the research for all these new shows that were coming out, like making sure that he was good, because I knew that one day I would have my own show. And one day but at the end of the day, like what people don't realize is
honor in serving. There's
serving, but
there's
then you also are observing while you're serving. So if you're a smart person, you do the little stuff they need well, so they trust you enough to bring you into big interviews. By the end of that internship, I had 3 segments on that show, because 1, he hated Real Housewives of Atlanta and he was like, what is this? But 2, he trusted that I knew what I was doing. So for anybody who wants, advice on just how to start, like, serve your people and observe what they do, because there'll probably be little things that you could take into your career for the rest of your career. And so y'all are right preaching. And there's so many comments. Hold up, I'm behind. Give me a second, y'all. Okay.
Yeah, let's get the comments going. We over here. We homegirls, so we can
we can talk.
I can't even see the comments.
I know, right? Okay, so we did hear from Casey Mama. Casey Mama said mental health is of the utmost importance. There is a question from El Boogie. I'm going to come back to that because I want to just read out some of these comments. When Baroline was preaching about doing what you want and buying what you want, IMV Vala said facts. Casey Mama also said amen. El Boogie Baby also said there's a sense of entitlement in the industry right now that we have to address. Casey Mama said this generation has a very different work ethic from the old school hard work. And ND Dawes said, if I'm working with somebody, I'll do the work. And El Boogie Baby also said, define work, because they will make their own definitions. And then someone else said, DJ Honey Flows just said, it's entitlement these days, but we learn to work. It's a very different time. Mm-hmm. All right, I got to get into this question. There's 2 questions that I want to get into. The first one is from El Boogie Baby, and it goes back to mental health and self-care. El Boogie Baby said, what supports do you put in place to maintain your own mental health wellness in a male-dominated field that can often resist a female presence? So you guys talked about like the shopping, the fun stuff, the cute stuff, but like when you have shopped and you have gotten your hair done and you still go into the office and they still trying to play you, or you got on a call and they still trying to play you, what mental health practices do you have to make sure that you are protecting yourself as a woman, as a being in this industry? And whoever wants to go first.
I'll go first. I always do my job to the best ability, because my artist Ray be like, she right. I can't do nothing. I can't defend you no more, because she right. She doing the work. She proved my point. And I'm always proving people wrong. So I'm like, I'll give you the advice and I'll tell you. And then I'm going to do the work. And then you're going to be like, oh, yeah, that ain't work out, or something like that. But what I came to the realization with that, too, is that, and it hit me this weekend, is like, sometimes people will try to bring you down, and it's okay to cry. It's okay to get depressed. Not okay to get depressed, but there's days that I wake up and I'm just down. My head is in the clouds, all of that. The best success to make anybody lose is keep working and keep focusing up. Because this weekend I went to a party and I seen some people that try to shit on me. And guess what? I was the artist that has the hottest record out. And what they could do, all of the guys was like, this bitch. Yeah, I stay with saying hot. Why? Because I'm going to keep working, Sometimes these people, what they do is that they try to control your mind so you could give up. And don't get me wrong, there's so many times I try to give up. Last year, somebody I thought was my friend, somebody that I thought was an executive, somebody that I loved and I thought was family, tried to finish me. Like, finish me, I'll tell you, Gia. Finish me.
Wow.
And I was so down, Lord, I was down. I was down for like a couple weeks.
Devastating.
And then I kept working, and now I'm good. And you know, sometimes you need that motivation, because what you need to learn is that everybody's not your friend. Everybody doesn't want to see you win. But you need to have those key people that love you, and you need to love yourself, because at the end of the day, you need to know that you're that girl, and you're going to make it happen. And I think it's just waking up and looking good and getting fly. That could be something good too. Like, I was overweight. I was eating a lot. Girl, I look good now. Fitting a medium. So it's like, I do stuff that makes me feel good. Like, you know, I just gotta worry about myself, because this industry this shit will finish you. Like, I'm only 27, and I just see other executives, females, and it's like, some don't have kids, some don't got a man, some, because you give your all to this business and then you're left with nothing. Yep. And I don't want that to be me. I want to have a baby. I want to have a man. I want to have this, but it's a balance. It may not be today. It may not be next year. It may not be in 2 years, but it's just finding a balance and loving yourself and knowing that you got to keep going, and then finding a balance. When is Miss Diddy going to be like, damn, I did what I was supposed to do. On to the next. I'm comfortable. Let me go on this vacation and not worry about it. Yeah. Oh, let me hire the next Baroline so I could take it easy and they could go manage what I was managing. So it's just building and having for yourself, because what I've seen also is that a lot of executives help these artists become superstars. And at the end of the day, the artist is rich as hell, and they don't have nothing to show for as an executive. They don't have a house. They don't have a man. They don't have a kid. They don't have a piece of a company that they worked for years. Wow. So it's like, now me seeing that is like, what am I going to do to make sure that I'm good? And how am I going to save my money? How am I going to get life insurance to take care of my people or to myself? So I think everybody has their own self-care. And I think that the biggest thing is just loving yourself and knowing that nobody is Gia Peppers, nobody is Baroline, nobody is Miss Diddy. Yep. You could try to be us. You could, but we are ourselves, and we've built a formula to have the jobs that we have and be the people that we are. So I think that's the only way, is just like to feel like you that girl. And but my last campaign for the B Project, that's what it is. Being that girl, waking up and feeling good, and can't nobody... And knowing how good you are at your job, because people like to make you feel bad. And baby, when you remove me off a project, I could tell when I stop working hard. Because shit looking very not...
It looks sketchy.
It's looking very critical in some departments.
Yes. But you know what, much of what Baroline is saying is like, it's when I was looking at the BET Awards, and when Mary J. Blige's speech, she said something actually that resonate with me. And sometimes people have speeches and they say key things that resonate with me. And she said, like her song, Hello Beautiful, or whatever, she was saying that she had to wake up in the morning and tell herself, hello, beautiful, actually, no matter what she saw in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And that's really impactful, because it's like, we wake up in the morning and we look at ourselves, and sometimes we don't know what we're looking at. We don't know what we're seeing. Sometimes the last days are still weighing on us, and the things that we got going on. We got family stuff going on, personal stuff going on, women, our own health and all of that. And then you add on professional and everything we dealing in that world, you know? And I think that something that's really important is we got to start talking to ourselves and saying like what we say to each other. And much to like what Baroline is saying is like, yo, you got to tell yourself, yo, you that girl. It's nothing wrong with that. And I think we've been conditioned or like brainwashed to believe that you can't even feel that way or look at yourself that way. You got to play this extremely humble role that makes everyone feel greater than you, when you're supposed to put yourself first. And much to what you were saying, Gia, earlier, is like the generation above us, they weren't taught to put themselves first. Mm-hmm. I, again, just learned it. Like, I just learned like, oh, that's okay. And I also just learned that I'm no one's savior and I'm no one's God while I'm trying to save everybody. I need to save myself first, you know? And I also want to say, you know, much for me, like I'm for sure gonna shop, my nails, my hair, all that. I'm that's the girl I am for sure. But I had to start asking myself, how am I showing up for myself? Because right now I could write you a novel of how I've showed up for everybody around. A novel, the longest novel possible. I can say, hey, Diddy, how did you show up for your mom, your dad, your brother, your business, your this people? And I can give you everything. But I wasn't able to answer that question about myself.
Yeah.
Like, wait, how are you showing up for you?
Yeah.
And what does that look like? So that level of self-care is even beyond when we go for our shopping moments, go have lunch by ourselves a little bit, go have a cute little cocktail with our homegirl, get dressed and take a picture and we feel good and feel cute. But it's also like, but how are you actually showing up for yourself in those tough moments? Because I know for me, like, I'm not a crier, right? So like, even if I feel an inkling of crying, I can be by myself. I just stop it right away. And I was like, why am I doing that to myself? Like, what made me feel like it's not even okay to just shed a tear for whatever it may be, you know? And I started being like, yo, I'm low key in an abusive relationship with myself. Yeah. It's not even anybody else. I don't even let nobody play with me. But I'm like playing with myself. I'm not even like showing up for me. I was talking to Dre is crazy, but one of my close friends, Dre Michelle, and she's like, you just gotta cry in the shower. Just let it out. You just let it out. And I was like, she's like, cry right now. I was like, I can't do that. You're acting crazy. But it was resonating to me like, yo, you're not even just shedding a tear real quick.
Yeah.
There's so much to shed a tear about.
Yeah.
You know? And
there is so much.
There's so much to shed a tear about. So I'm holding so much in. And so that's what I mean about showing up for yourself. And I started going down that path. Like, wait. How am I showing up for me? And what does that look like? Because I need to identify that because I can identify it on everybody else, you know?
That's so, y'all appreciate. I hope in the chat and everybody watching, you're taking notes because they are dropping so many gems on personal life, career, and more. And I just want to get to another question. Kayla I3 said, hi, my name is Kayla. I'm 23 years old from the Bay Area. I've been watching Baroline and Ebony Ward for some years now. I'm an aspiring manager in A&R. I was wondering if you were offering any assistant positions or internships. And I also think, you know, I would love to ask this question to both of you guys. When you were 23, what were or in your early 20s, what were the biggest words of advice you needed in that moment that you wish someone would have told you? But Baroline, I'll let you start with the hiring and then we'll get to the advice.
I think that when and this is just for anybody that wants to be an intern, and I forgot who told me this. It's like, everybody comes to us like, can I pick your brain? Can I be your intern? But what can she teach me? Because mine is getting old right now. So what can you bring to the table? Can you be online finding me the hottest artist and bringing it to me? Because I know you want to watch me, but it's like, what can you help me with? Where do you see that I have a flaw and that is okay to be like, hey, Baroline, maybe you should make an Instagram and follow unsigned artists and watch them instead of your page? Or like, what can you bring to the table? So like, if you could write to me 10 things that you can help me. Like I have a business, a business page for a management company. I run it. I don't even post. Like, can I run your page? Like, can I do stuff like that? So it's like, I think for anybody that wants to be an intern is like, what can you bring to us? Because it's like, you guys want to pick our brain, but what value can you bring to us to teach us to better? And then for the advice thing, like, I think it's always like, just love yourself and keep hustling. Like, keep hustling is the best advice I could give somebody, because it's like, I'm not the same person I was when I was 18, but I still have the same vision. And the vision has changed, and the vision is success and making sure like now I'm a girl, I'm from the hood in New York, and now I'm in LA. When I was 18, you couldn't tell me I was going to LA. I would have been like, girl, what you talking about? But I hustle, and my hustle spirit never changed. I always want more. I'm not comfortable. I'm not comfortable with success. I'm not comfortable with failure. I'm not comfortable in anything that I'm in. If tomorrow God presents me with a job in fucking Africa and I feel like my heart wants to be in Africa, I will move. I'm not connected to anything because I want success. And wherever the success is going to be at, I'm moving at that speed. But I'm moving with the right faith with God.
Yes.
And my heart just has to be in the right place. Like right now, I have a lot of personal decisions that I need to make career-wise. And sometimes I just feel like, man, I should do this or I should do that or I should do this. And it's like, yeah, there's maybe people that you love and you don't want to hurt, but it's like, what is my life going to look like in the next 5 years? Am I going to be is that decision that I'm making right now so critical that I need to make at this moment with my mind everywhere that in 5 years, I'm going to look back and say, damn, you made the right decision or you made the wrong decision. So it's just about figuring out, like, just staying head on the swivel, but having good faith in yourself and just weighing out all your decisions and making sure they're right. Like when I was at Columbia and I had Scientology, they were trying to keep me there and my heart just didn't feel it. And I was like, something doesn't feel right. And I moved to LA and Interscope gave me this job. And then I got the baby and everything just aligned itself. So it's like, what if I would have just stayed at Columbia because I was comfortable with living in New York and living at my mom's house? Yep. But I wasn't comfortable. I was like, damn, maybe I should move to LA. I came to LA with one suitcase on New Year's and I didn't know what the hell was going to happen, but I believed in faith and I believed in success. And that's what happened. So it's just like head on the swivel, staying focused with your hustle and knowing that everything is going to be all right. God already wrote it for us. We just don't know the story yet.
Come on in here. Preaching here today. Amen.
For real. It's already written. Our story is already written. We just get at the time he wants to give it to us. I don't know. We're about to be filthy rich, God willing. I don't know yet. He's putting me to work. So when it's there, I'm comfortable when I'm happy with what decisions that I made.
Amen. I love that. I love that. All right, Miss Diddy, 23 years old. I know you said you was a hothead. So what was what would be the biggest piece of advice as far as aligning with the success that you've had in this industry? Like what that you would tell yourself at that age?
Man, I honestly, people say this and it sounds stupid, but I really wouldn't do anything differently. I think all the bumps in the roads, the trials and tribulations, ups and downs, they're there for a reason. Yep. They're there to teach you more about yourself. They're there to teach you more about the world and to teach you more about people. And I believe that everything that I've ever been through, and I've been through a lot. I've been through a lot of trauma. I've been through a lot of deaths. I've been through a lot of, friends dying, people around, family, all that kind of stuff, issues in my family. I've been through health things, you know what I mean? I just got my fibroids removed. Like there's a lot of things that I've been through, and I wouldn't change it because it gave me who I am and what I'm supposed to be and who I'm supposed to be in this world, right? And take my rightful place in this world and my position in this world and what God has me here to do. And so only thing that I would need as a 23-year-old person is more support, probably, because I've always been a girl that people always just like, she all right, Diddy cool, she cool. Down to my family, my friends, everybody. She
gonna be fine.
She's fine, and a lot of times I wasn't fine. I didn't know I wasn't fine. I didn't find out I wasn't fine until, some years later, you know what I mean? Like in my 30s. And so for me, I would have just needed more gentleness, more support, and more love. So, but other than that, I still, I was bred for all the battles and things that I had to go through, whether I went through them alone, which 90% of them I did, just me and God, or whatever. And it made me be able to stand tall on everything that I say, who I am, what I do, and to do it unapologetically because can't nobody tell me anything. I really went through all the fires. And, like Nip says, every emotion for what I'm doing right now, having to go through everything I've been through for who I am today. Like I can stand here taller than ever. Like I'm not like Jay-Z said, I'm not cowering. I'm not speaking lower. My voice is not going lower. I walk in as who I am because I really stood the test of time and continuously do so. So I mean, definitely people just need more hugs, more support, more love, more like, you know what, it's going to be okay. Like sometimes you just need to hear like, it's going to be okay. Not like, girl, you strong. Like, I'm tired. I don't want to hear how strong you think I am. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I need to hear, you know what, it's going to be okay. How can I support that or support you, you know? That's what I was saying.
I love that. That's such a beautiful part of this journey that people don't really talk about, is how there are certain people that we all know are going to be okay. Like we know that there are certain people that are made for certain journeys. Yeah. But there is also times when like, just because you might see a superstar intern or you might see somebody who's doing well in their career, everybody always needs a chance. They need a new mentor. They need someone to help them along the way. And because everybody assumes that everybody else is already doing that for them, you become this person that's like, no, I need I need that. Right. And so as you guys have moved, you all are people who do things at a high level consistently. You're always getting something done, always having, like Baroline said, something hot. You always have something going. How do you guys manage the ask? Right? Like there's an art to the ask. There's an art to how to get things done. And a lot of people don't know how to move their egos to get that done. So how do you, in your career, how have you learned to ask for the things that you want?
You know, I want to hop in there on that. Like, here's what I learned, right? Like, get to know yourself better. Because once you know yourself better, you'll trust your gut more. And I rely solely on my gut and what, you know, from my faith, I would call the Holy Spirit and that lives in me. I rely my whole life solemnly on that. And the more that I get closer to myself, to my relationship with God, to my understanding of who I am as a person, as a woman in my rightful place in this world, the more I can rely on it and stick there. So everything is different. The thing about, especially me being an entrepreneur in the world that I work, and even the world in which you guys work in general, every situation is different. Every client is different. Every person is different. I don't deal with anyone the same exact way. It's not, it doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? And so I trust my gut on that. There's a lot of things I say no to, a lot of things. I say, I can make so much, hand over fist more money than what I already make by just simply saying yes, but at what's the cost? You know what I'm saying? And so for me, the cost is everything. I tally that up fast. I tally that up in everything, in every yes, every no, every partnership, every dealing with the person. What is this going to cost me? Like, I'm not talking about monetary. I'm talking about mental, emotional, spiritually, physical, like all of that. That's what your soul is, you know? And so I rely on my gut to make all decisions on my business, on everything. I have an incredible team. I have a core team, Braden, PJ, Mia, Ty, my assistant, everything. But you know, and they all know that I have a method to my madness, and they all kind of like stop some, like they'll all be hitting me with something. And sometimes I just have to stop and just not say anything. And they'll be like, yo, we need this or this and that. But then some of them know, like PJ, she'll be like, oh, she's thinking through it. She has to wait until her gut gives her this unction to do it this way. And I always say, y'all got a method to my madness. Trust me. Like, and I don't always know what it is, you know, but I got to trust that. And I got to stand tall on what I say and what decision I made and what I believe in, and do this and pray that it's all going to come out on the other end. But that's the part of like even Baroline speaking so intently to faith, like breaking down what faith is. That's what it is. You know what I'm saying? And so the more I trust on that, actually, the far greater decisions I've ever made in my business and my career, you know. I remember, you know, like even being down to being certain places or not being certain places. Now I'm not going to go there. That was the best decision I made, because now that trickled down to this, and that. And that's the thing, like, you know, the Bible says be eager for nothing. Like, you know what I mean? And all things, prayer and supplication, mean like, slow that thing down, because it's at what cost. So I rely on my gut solely for everything in business. And that's the most important thing. So no decision, no money, no person trumps that. I don't care who the person is. I don't care who I wholeheartedly don't. I don't care who you are, what role you think you have in whatever company. I've seen an intern become the president and the president not have a job. So I actually don't care about any of that. I care about what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah.
You preached. Yeah. The intern become the president, y'all. The intern can become the president. Do you want to add anything, Baroline, before you move?
Said it all.
Okay. And then wrote the book. We want the book also. Thank you.
Listen.
We want the book. And everybody in the chat is agreeing with you all about work ethic and staying focused. DJ Honeyflow said this is a really great conversation. Thank you. These ladies are killing it. L Boogie Baby said, well, if these words don't resonate, I don't know what will. Much respect to Baroline and Miss Diddy. Thank you guys. And then DJ Honeyflow also said, sometimes doors open when you do it alone, not with people. They only believe when they see the final process and they're not there with you during the process or on that stage with you. Do you guys agree with that?
Wait, I want to say something to that real quick.
Yeah,
I think people get so upset that people, oh, you wasn't with me shooting in the gym. You didn't care until it started popping. So what? Duh. Like, why would you? If the vision is given to you, it's yours. So what? Someone don't believe or don't want to be aligned before it's popping. Duh, that's what the buildup is for. Yes. Why would you want to be aligned with something that's not wherever it is, unless you really understand that vision with that person? Mm-hmm. And a lot of people don't. So I think that we got to get away from like expecting so much from people to be this type of like savior or acceptance from them. Oh, now y'all want to, yeah, sometimes it be that way. They didn't see it. Like it wasn't aligned for their business model at the time or whatever the case may be. I don't be taking none of that personal because I just believe in staying in my lane and doing my thing. And whoever God put in my path and we supposed to get down, we gonna get down. And whoever we not. And at whatever time it's supposed to happen, because time is important too.
Amen. Amen. Also a word. You about to say something, Baroline?
Oh, she right. 100%.
Yeah. I love that. Well, guys, how can we support you all in any of your projects? What are some things that you guys have coming out that you want people to know as we wrap up this incredible conversation? That's one of my last questions. I got one more after this, but how can we support y'all and what you guys have coming up next?
Shop the Bee Project, Good American. The link is in my bio. Listen to Babyface Ray, the Face album. I got a record on there featuring Baroline.
Period.
Listen to Libra Jolie, Spring Summer. Tell your DJ play the hottest record in the club, Vulture Island, Lil Baby, and Rob 49, New Orleans Stand Up. And yeah, like, just support everybody. That's all it's about. And just watch the story, and everybody, the success is going to keep growing, and God willing, I will be running the building at a label one day. And it may be tomorrow, in 10 years, but who knows?
Bro, that's coming fast. You crazy. They probably just trying to figure out how to pull it all, put the puzzle in. Girl, please. I'm sorry. Like, that's good for me. That's easy. That's it. Like, for Baroline, that's the next step, in my opinion, like, completely.
Yes. Anything we can support you on, Miss Diddy?
Child, support me on my rest or my vacation. Amen. I told Baroline I need Jesus, like, Lord. Just follow me at Miss Diddy. Like Baroline said, watch the story. And just, sending all positive love to everybody out there. I'm starting, actually, my business partner and I, Brayden, we launched my foundation, Brown Girl Lux, and that's going to be really a support space for women that have uterine fibroid disease and have went through either fibroid surgery, information about it, support on that. Such a big epidemic in our Black and Brown community. And so I want to make sure we're doing what we can to kind of support that. I'm going to end up doing a gala by the end of the year. I've been giving free alcohol events, vibes, rooms for years. For 15 years in my career. So when I do my gala, I'm expecting everybody to show up and support monetarily so I can assist and help Black and Brown women either get their surgery for their fibroids, get the right medical attention, because something I went through that was really, really tough. And thank God that I'm where I am in life, but my surgery cost me $30,000. I don't know who just could bust down $30,000 on a surgery they don't want to have. So,
right.
And that was for me to go to the best person and to go outside of my network. And that's a whole nother story. So I just want to be able to be a support for Black and brown women. If there's women, I can support them financially with their health care, with their ability to, deal with that disease and everything. Like, that's what I really want to do.
I love that.
Well, that's what I'm doing. That's what it's going towards.
Exactly. That's what's happening. And I love that when that link goes live, even if you can donate $20, $30,
Absolutely.
every little bit helps.
Mm-hmm.
Every little bit helps. All right. So the last question, because we are doing, this is about crediting the culture, and you all work and create this culture so much. Why is our culture so special, in your words, as people from music to events, entertainment? Why do you think our culture is so special, and what do you love being a part? Why do you love being a part of it so much?
I think music is just the way of life. I think people listen to music when they're sad, happy, cheerful, when they wake up. So my best thing is like being able to provide the soundtrack for somebody's day and somebody's life, and somebody being like, oh, I'm gonna listen to this record, and I was a part of it. Like today I just brought two of my plaques home, and Cash It was a record that I told the baby to do with Megan Thee Stallion, and Cash It is a record that makes people want to get up. Like the song Fuck Nigga Free, like when I listen to that, I'll be like, hey, I'm ready to turn up. I feel good. So it's like music is so important to our culture. And I think that it is just a way of life. There's nothing without music. You hear music everywhere you go by the minute you step outside. So just being able to provide the soundtracks of people's lives is amazing.
That's powerful. That's super powerful.
Cool.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's important because it's who we are, like I say Black and brown people. I'm a girl that's born and raised in LA from the hood, so all my friends, my people, we all Black, we brown, we Spanish, we mixed up, all of that. And, it's who we are. Everything about music, about this culture, it's our soul, it's our spirit, it's our blood, sweat, and tears. It's our ancestors' pain. It's our ancestors' sacrifices for where we are. Like, you know what I mean? I was talking to a couple generations up above me and my family. Like, we weren't able to learn to read. Like, how can that be taken from you? You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandmother, before she died early and she was 49, she owned 3 pieces of property, but it was illegal for a Black woman to own property. Like, how could it be illegal for us to own land that we live on? Like, there's so many sacrifices and tough things, bigger than tough things that our ancestors and our family and our people above us went through. So we'll be slapping them in the face for not take this culture serious, and not to move the needle, and to not move forward, and to not give a piece of our soul to it as we continue to move it forward. So it's deeper than what a lot of people understand it to be. Like, I'm a daughter of a musician. I'm a child of a family of musicians, and like music made my family, be in a better place in life. Money, access, relationships, so I'll always be loyal to music and the understanding of what it does and do for Black and brown people. My friends are multimillionaires based off of music. You know what I'm saying? And based off the culture. I watch my friends become millionaires in front of my face, and so, it shift the culture. If Kendrick Lamar says this, now that's what we're doing. You know what I mean? If Baroline's artist says this, now that's what we're doing. So to understand the power that we have, the ability to shift the whole world, that's like insane. I remember I was in the studio when Ye did Gold Digger. And then I'm like, as soon as
in the video, I was like, is that Miss Diddy and Kanye's
workout plan?
I love that video.
Like, that little workout plan, that was one of the best video shoots ever.
It was such a good video.
No, it was I was one of the funnest video shoots ever. Director X did it. He was Lil X back then. It was so fun. Wow. But even with that, like him, like how we won't prenup. We won't prenup. Yeah. Imagine like an artist doing that in the studio. Be like, oh, what you about to? But that becomes like a moment in culture in the world, like all of that. So the moments that Baroline are even speaking to our artists and the soundtrack of people's lives, like it's so much deeper than what we understand. And to me, that's what it means to me. And I think it means that's a sentiment across the board too.
You ladies have blessed my soul tonight with your gems, with your vulnerability, with your reality, and it's the reasons why we love you as human beings. I've literally loved watching you soar. No, your story, Baroline, baby, thank you. But your story, baby, grew up.
Yeah,
you out here, okay? And it's happened so quickly, and I just love to watch that for you. So continue to keep going. You got a lot of people praying for you and rooting for you. Get the haters; they can move on. And always let us know. And Diddy, baby, thank you for the spaces that you create. And I know all the spaces you create are with intention, and that means so much to all of us who do this. Like, people don't realize events are a part of work, but when you can actually go and feel seen and feel appreciated and feel like you have been given love and space from a Black woman too.
Yeah.
you special, girl, and you've been doing it for a long time. So I'm just so proud of both of you. Thank you guys so much. Everybody in the
you for everything that you've done and your success got going on.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Babe. And being a Black woman in this space, a host and beyond, understanding what a host really means.
And wearing your hair how you want to in front of the carpets and doing what you want to do.
Thank you. I love you guys so much. Thank you guys. In the chat, we love you guys. Everybody's saying much love to Gia, Baroline, and Miss Diddy. Amazing, very inspirational conversation night. Make sure you follow everybody here and make sure you subscribe to Twitch/Amazon Music for more of these incredible conversations, and check out R&B Rotation and DJ Mode on Amazon Music with me, your girl. And every week we have new stuff. Guys, have a beautiful night. We'll see you guys next time.
Bye.